Josh Green here for SecondsOut. Delighted to be joined by Rhiannon Dixon here in Sheffield. How are you doing today, Rhiannon?
I'm good, thanks. It's quite cold in here though, isn't it? So I've got two coats on, so I don't want people on the camera adds £10, right? But also I've got two coats on, so I'm not actually...
Was that 20?
Yeah, it's adding £20, so I'm actually pretty skinny. I've got a couple of abs underneath this, so don't let it mislead you. I'm not fat.
Good stuff. Look, main event, really exciting times for yourself. We know there's been trouble sort of getting this go. Originally was in Sheffield, then moved down to London, but finally we've settled on Sheffield. And you're the main event. What was it like getting the call to say that you were going to be topping this bill?
I couldn't believe it. I keep on joking saying that Anthony sabotaged all the main events just so he can get his moment on the top table, but it's kind of like what dreams are made of, what everyone gets into the sport for, and especially for me coming from white collar and then getting all these opportunities back to back, like Commonwealth, European, World title, and now headlining. Like, what's next? What's next after that? So no, I'm just really grateful.
Does it change anything for you being main event, being in that spotlight at the top of that card in the world title fight with Terri Harper, or does it feel the same as it was when you were coming up and when you were trying to work your way up to these sort of situations?
Yeah, I feel like I'm just always the same. Like, I'm always trying to better myself, and I always kind of have like an underdog mentality, so I don't ever get complacent with, where I'm at in my career. The only issue is it's late. I like being on at 4 o'clock. My prime time. I've boxed. Do you remember when the England match was on in Leeds? I boxed at 2 o'clock. Perfect time. Favourite time. I'd love to box at 2 o'clock, but now we've had to change everything, so 10 o'clock or 9:30, yeah. So that's been the biggest change for me, to be honest.
Terri Harper in the opposite corner, we know she's been sort of up and down the weights trying to find her perfect weight, whereas you've been a little more settled, you'd probably have to say. Do you think that's something that works in your advantage on Saturday night?
I don't really have an opinion on it, to be honest. I mean, she started at lightweight, moved down to super feather, moved up. I think she just went where opportunities were, to be honest. I think a lot of women do that as well. Like Natasha Jonas does opportunities at heavyweights, Michaela May has gone up, so I don't really pay too much mind to it. I mean, I've perfected making lightweight. I'm very good at it, and I've made it ever since my debut. I made it very bad then, but now it's very good. So to be honest, it doesn't really pay too much mind.
When you look back at those sort of early days when you were getting going in the professional scene, how much improvement have you really made? And do you sort of recognise the fighter that started out on this journey?
Oh, it's like night and day. Like some of the stuff that I used to do about like making weight or my training, I think, wow. Looking back now, I think, how did I ever get through any fights or do any training? And especially like coming from working full time as well and trying to train as well and mix around that. Whereas now I'm full time training, it's just crazy the amount of changes that have happened. Like I've got a nutritionist now, I do S&C now. I never did any of that before, so I know how to make weight very safely, whereas I don't know what I was doing on my debut.
What was the worst habit?
I made weight, but then I didn't really like have anything to like drink or eat after it, and then same day weigh in, and that was my debut as well, and it was probably my best. Maybe I should do that again because I was pretty good then. No, but yeah, I feel like I've just matured a lot.
And loves to hog the spotlight. We get him on SecondsOut every week. But just him as a trainer, he's still very much building as a trainer. Can you just give us a little bit of an insight of what he's like in the gym?
So with me, there's two different coaches. The coaches with the lads are coaching me. The one with me is very harsh. But no, he's a very good coach. He's been there and done it, so he's not fazed by anything. Like, he fought Lomachenko in New York, so this is like a walk in the park to him, to be honest, really, isn't it? But no, just having that experience and having that calmness around you, and he's been through it all. So like when you're making weight or going through really tough training sessions, he's been through it and he knows how you feel, and it's just having that support. Like, I slag him off all the time, yeah, but he's an alright coach, he is.
Does it really make a difference that he's been a fighter that's been right at those top levels, and he can sort of, I guess, relate to the situations that you're in and tailor your training and your experience and what he's telling you to those sort of situations?
Oh yeah, definitely, because he's probably made mistakes earlier on in his career that I can learn from as well, and you can't buy that experience. And like when he tells me I need to rest, I'll believe him because he's been through it, and when he tells me that I need to do certain things, I think, oh well, he has he's been a world champion. Okay, I'll trust what he says.
This is a huge opportunity, as we mentioned on Saturday night for yourself, but round the corner there could be opportunities to unify the division. Obviously Beatrice Pereira's there, you've got Caroline Dubois as well. How interested are you in those fights, and if you had to pick one to unify, what would it be?
It is very interesting, and I feel like when I win this fight, it's like a trajectory into these massive fights, but I think probably Caroline would be the better fight because it's a big domestic fight. Like, this is a big domestic fight, and all the hype and people that are interested in it. I think another big domestic fight that just skyrockets your career, doesn't it, when you win them? So probably Caroline, but either or I wouldn't be bothered.
It'd probably be the one that Eddie would be interested in as well. It would obviously be him versus Ben Shalom as well. I'm sure he'd love that.
Yeah, we could do one of them 5v5s in Saudi.
From very different backgrounds as well, it has to be said, yourself and Caroline. You've obviously come from the white collar scene. She's gone through in the Youth Olympics, very much through that Team GB. How much of a difference do you think it really makes in the sort of initial standing of a fighter?
I mean, like, now I do say to people, like, if you're on about turning professional, I would say go and get that amateur experience, but at the end of the day, I wouldn't give my experience up for the world because it's made me who I am. Like, I know I haven't got extensive amateur fights and blah blah blah, but I went to university, I've got other different experience that has made me who I am and confident in myself and like my belief, and I can pick up things really fast. So if I was advising someone now, I would say go through the amateurs and try and get as much experience you can as that way. But in the professionals, I mean, I feel like I'm learning with every single fight, and I think it shows with every fight that I've got something new and I bring something different. So I don't think it really fares too much to me, to be honest.
Final bit of business, I would like to get your reaction to the weekend and Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois. What are your initial thoughts of what you saw in the ring?
I couldn't believe it because AJ looked like he was going to stop him, and then he ices him out. Yeah, I was very shocked. I was one of the people that thought that AJ was going to knock him out, but yeah, got proven wrong. And that's why I don't put bets on, because I'm always wrong. But no, really good fight. And let's see, what are they going to rematch, or what's the plan? I don't know.
I'm certainly not someone that knows that. Would you like to see the rematch though?
Oh yeah, it was a really good fight. I think he's got a lot of corrections that he can make, AJ. But no, it'd be really I think a fight that everyone would be interested in watching again.
We had the Beterbiev Bivol press conference yesterday, and it's obviously the first all-women's world title fight going on in Saudi. That's huge progression for the sport over in Saudi. I'm sure something that you'd like to be a part of as well, and a world title fight over in Riyadh.
Oh yeah, definitely. And it's an amazing fight between Sky and Raven to put, you know, women on like such a huge platform like that. No, it'd be really exciting to see what happens. But I'm Team Sky. Team Sky, aren't we, Paul? We're Team Sky out here, aren't we?
Rhiannon, really appreciate the time and best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you very much.